Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 16th. This week you have this inner work card. It says, don't be afraid to prioritize your personal growth and spiritual development. Health and wellness are necessary to enjoy an abundant life. You have this diplomat card. It says, with your uncanny ability to form connections in human relationships, you serve as a bridge between worlds. Yeah, if that isn't true, I don't know what is, Gemini. It's like you definitely live between two worlds, and it could be a good time for you to do that. I definitely think when Uranus enters into Gemini in July, that a lot of you, it's like you could have ideas or goals and or things that you want to accomplish that definitely seem to come from like another world. And so Two of Swords, we'll talk about that for sure. But I think you need to not be afraid to bring those more like innovative, unique ideas into the world, and that's what I would be working on for sure. But this looks really, really good, Gemini. So let's see. In your current general energies, you have the Star, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. Definitely could be love coming in for some of you. You have the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups, which could be a knight in shining armor. You have the Four Wands, the Empress. All those cards can represent like a solid connection coming in for you if you want it. The Star is about having a North Star, or kind of like having a guiding light and following that light so that you can accomplish great things. And I think it would be a great time for you to like have some sort of focus, Gemini. I'm a Gemini moon, and I definitely have been thinking about this a lot, because of my Gemini moon. I'm not even a Gemini, but I'm a Gemini moon. And so, because of that energy, I've been thinking like, what should Gemini do? And I think having a very specific focus would be very good. Something that really lights you up, something that's like electric, right? Uranus is like electricity. And, I think Uranus going into Gemini will be you needing to work on something in your life. It could be personal, it could be a business, could be about your health or whatever, that makes you feel electric, right? And we're like a month away about, I think it's July 9th that Uranus moves in. So you have some time to think about this, but I would definitely think about it, like what brings you fulfillment. The thing about the Star card is that we can't just dip our toes in the water. She is kind of like just dipping her toes in the water there, but we have to dive in deep. We have to go all the way in to make this successful, right? You have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles could be an opportunity or an offer coming in for you. So I love the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is usually like something that just has potential. And that's kind of like the problem with the Ace of Pentacles, is that it only represents potential. And potential means nothing. Potential is what you put into something is what you'll get out of it. And so if you're working on anything or thinking about creating anything, I would definitely make sure that you like really put the energy in to make something happen here with the Ace of Pentacles, because I think you can. The Ace of Pentacles we have to nurture into existence, and you have the Empress right next to it. So if you are working or thinking about working on any opportunities at this time, I would really nurture those opportunities, because you will grow if you do. You have the Page of Cups. The Page, this could be a love offer that's coming in for you. I think that this would be a person that you see as very special. The Star is like a star. So, I'm not saying you're attracting someone famous here, Gemini, but you definitely could be attracting a person that you see as very important or very special in your life, or, maybe it just feels like an important connection. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It feels good, right? That's all that matters, is that it feels good to me. So I think you will be very happy about this. The Page of Cups can also be your dream. And the Star is also like your North Star or your dream. So this doesn't have to be love. This could be you working towards something that is a dream or something that you've been hoping or wishing for. And the Page of Cups, he has that fish in that cup. And I always say that I think he needs to like grab that fish and bring that fish down to earth. So, make sure that you bring this thing down to earth if you are going to be creating it, whatever it is, whatever you're working on. Star and the Ace of Pentacles, to me, is saying you need to make the full commitment. With the star, you have the Hangman. Yes, I mean, how many times? I think for the past month, I'm pretty sure every single reading you've had the Hangman. Very important card for you right now, Gemini. Apparently, I think I've said to you a million times. This card, it reminds me of Gemini energy, even though this card is Pisces. It doesn't matter, because the Hangman is very good at looking at both sides of something. You're a Gemini, if you're watching this reading, probably, and Gemini is very good at looking at both sides of something. But what I think is happening for you, Gemini, is that you are getting a new perspective on something. With the Star card, it's like maybe you've wanted to do something or you've wanted to accomplish something for a long time, but maybe you've never seen how it was possible. That's kind of what's popping into my head with the Hangman, is that you could now be seeing how something is possible for you to accomplish, or how something is possible for you to do it. And that's really what I'm getting here, is that you're just seeing that something is possible. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Death card. You have the Death card twice. Sometimes I feel with the Death card and the Ace of Pentacles that it's basically saying that the environment has changed or the circumstances have changed. It's like if you're trying to get a raise, but maybe there isn't a raise available for you at work. If a bunch of people quit their job, then maybe now the circumstances have changed and now you can get a raise because something has changed, right? And that's what I'm talking about with this Death card. I'm not saying this is only work for you, Gemini, but it's like something has changed that is making something possible. I hope that makes sense, but that's what I'm getting here. I also think in love, this could be that either a person is ready or a person is single. So, maybe you've been interested in a person for a while, and maybe you are now realizing that they're single, or maybe they have finally healed from a past connection. Maybe they're ready now. That's also popping into my head. With the Page of Cups, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Again, there you go. Are you kidding me? Whenever a card repeats itself, it's basically the universe saying I meant what I said. So there could be a big opportunity with a person. I think this is a really good person, if you're attracting love, number one. If this is your dream, for some of you, it's both, I think, really. But, if this is a dream that you're working on or a big project, again, the better we take care of it, the better it will take care of us, right? That is how the Ace of Pentacles works. The Ace of Pentacles is like a garden right here. And the Ace of Pentacles says you need to water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight, all those things that you would do, get rid of the bugs, right? All the things you would do with a garden, that's how you need to treat something you're working on. And if you do that, you will have major abundance. So I would definitely do that. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Make Your Mark card. It says, stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. You have this Path to Knowledge card. It says, you're journeying into the realm of knowledge to assist in your personal growth. Love it. Yeah, definitely, I think the Make Your Mark card is critically important. Again, Star. With the Star card, we have to pick that one thing and make it happen. We can't be moving in a million different directions. You are a Gemini. I know how Gemini operates. I'm a Gemini moon, right? Gemini moon is actually worse. Gemini moon people, we can't tell the difference between our ass and our elbow. So we're all over the place, right? And what I would say here is that this is about picking one thing, making it happen, seeing it through to the end. Done. You have the Four Wands, the Empress, and the Knight of Cups. Four Wands is marriage. If you are attracting a person, definitely could be marriage potential. It doesn't say you have to marry a person, it just says that you could marry a person. I also think this is your commitment, committing to one thing. So I think the whole entire reading is really encouraging you to make that full 110% commitment to a project or an idea or yourself or whatever you're working on. That's where the celebration is going to come from. These people are celebrating. The Four Wands is also a card of completion. Sometimes we have to cross through this threshold here to have a celebration on the other side. So I definitely feel it would be a good time for you to celebrate or to have a celebration. You have the Empress. The Empress is a card of abundance, of course. You could be creating a lot more abundance in your life, but I think this is also really talking about you having some sort of routine or having some sort of process you follow for nurturing an idea or whatever it is that you're working on at this time, Gemini. The Empress also says you're very attractive at this time, Gemini, so if you are looking for love, I would definitely get out there. I think it could be a really good time for you to get attention, for you to stand out, for people to notice you. All that stuff is popping into my head, so that is what I would do with the Empress. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, of course, could be like a knight in shining armor. So if obviously, if you're looking for love, there's a very solid connection coming in for you. Sometimes I feel the Knight of Cups says, "What are you waiting for?" He's having outside of love. He is having a dream, or he's dreaming of something, and he's standing in the desert, but there is water flowing in front of him. So the card itself says you might not think that there's an opportunity for you to get something to grow, but if you plant seeds in front of the water, they will grow. And I think that it's time for you to get something to grow at this time. With the Four of Wands, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for something, really making something happen. So I think it would be a good time for you to be bold, assertive, charge towards the things that you want to see be successful. You have that card there that says Path to Knowledge. You are journeying into the realm of knowledge to assist in your personal growth. Queen of Wands is my card of learning as you go. So again, some of you could be starting a new journey in life, nurturing something new into existence, and you're just going to have to learn as you go. With the Empress, you have the Four of Cups. Some of you, I feel it's like you are getting something you didn't think you would get. Or maybe you just think, it's like maybe you thought something would be harder for you to manifest, or something is popping into my head. I don't know. I get a weird message here on this Four of Cups. Sometimes I feel like he's tried to manifest something, and, it's a card of contemplation and apathy. He's not accepting this cup into his life because he has been disappointed 3 times before. But, I think that it's like you're getting something that you've wanted, and I'm not saying it's easy, it has been easy for you to get, but I think maybe something is coming in a little easier. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, work hard, play hard. I kind of feel like this is saying just that if you want something, you have to make time for it. And, if this is love, then make sure you're making time for love. If this is fun, make sure you're making time for fun. If it's money, make sure you're making time for work. All that other stuff. I think this card is just talking about balance. That's it. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this rabbit. It says pregnancy and fears on it. You have this shark. It says survival and power on it. I would definitely let go of your fears, for sure. I do think you could be pregnant with ideas. You have the Empress. The Empress is the card of pregnancy. So, you definitely could have a lot of ideas at this time. You also have the Queen of Pentacles coming up. She has a rabbit on her card. We'll talk about it in a minute. You have the Two of Swords, the Devil, and the Queen of Pentacles. Two of Swords, this or that thinking. So, Two of Swords, she is thinking this or that. She is thinking that she only has 2 options, but really she has this third option over here, this island. So the Two of Swords is about needing to trust your intuition. She has this blindfold on, and the blindfold represents the fact that she is not trusting her intuition. So there's a pretty easy solution to this. The other part of the Two of Swords is just doing things differently. She is only focused on 2 ways of doing things when there are many ways of doing things. So staying open to other ways of doing things is also a solution. You have the Devil. The Devil can represent needing to cut out toxic energy from your life, which I do think is true for Gemini. I think it would be a good time for you to kind of remove yourself from toxic people, places, and things. I kind of feel like the Devil is encouraging you to be more creative. Sometimes I feel that these people, they have these animal horns on their heads. And the animal horns in the tarot can represent our baser instincts, or kind of our root chakra energy. And sometimes I think the Devil says we have creative ideas where we need to take that energy, bring it up to our heads, and express it out into the world. So sometimes I just think the Devil is saying you need to be more creative. And, that's definitely a possibility for you, Gemini, that it could be time for you to be more creative, or to value your creativity, things like that. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Number one, some of you could be attracting a Capricorn as well into your life. You have the Devil in this card, or Capricorn. It could be any sign. This is a general reading, but definitely standing out to me. The Queen of Pentacles also has this rabbit right here. The rabbit can, of course, represent fertility and abundance, just like the rabbit card in the Oracle card. But it can also represent fears and anxiety. So again, I think a lot of you letting go of fears would be a good idea. The rabbit is also about paying attention to multiplication. I always say that the Queen of Pentacles, to me, is a card of multiplication. She says that we need to focus on things that multiply in our life. So if there are activities or things that you do every single day that create more of a result than you normally get, I would be focusing on those activities. With the Two of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, no jumping to conclusions at this time. Almost every single person this week has had the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is just a card of jumping to conclusions, and so I would stay open, with that Two of Swords. Don't just assume things at this time. Just that simple. With the Devil, you have the Star. Yes, definitely needing to focus on the Star, needing to accomplish it. With the Devil, this could also say that being creative and working towards the Star with creativity could be the thing that makes you more successful. This could also say that you're healing from toxic energy. So if you've been dealing with anything toxic, you could just be healing. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, Eight of Pentacles is like straightforward, diligent work. And I think with the Queen of Pentacles, that straightforward, diligent work is probably the thing that is going to lead to success for you. A lot of people this year have been getting this message of keeping things simple. So it seems to me like people could be overcomplicating work or, just doing things in a complicated way. And that's what I would avoid doing with the Eight of Pentacles. He's just doing one thing in a simple way, and he's focused on that one way of doing things. And so I think keeping things simple is what that card wants you to do. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Tall Tale card and this Feeling the World card. So a lot of you, I think, the Tall Tale card would normally represent a lie or someone lying, but it's coming up in the good stuff. So I think it would be an amazing time for you to, tell the story that you want to live here, Gemini. I'm not talking about lying. I'm just talking about, I think it would be a good time for you to tell the story that you want to live, plain and simple. You have the Death card, the Nine of Wands, and the Moon. With the Death card and the Nine of Wands, I definitely feel like a lot of people could be feeling the world. Obviously, there's plenty of craziness going on in the world. There's going to be more craziness going on in the world, so just is what it is. I tell people not to worry about it unless you can directly control it. There's no point in freaking out about it, right? And anytime I ever say that, there's always someone who's like, how dare you not worry about every little thing that's going on in the world? Those people are always the most neurotic, nuts people I've ever met in my entire life. It's obviously, if you're just going to sit there and squawk about it, I'm not going to listen to you. If you're not doing something about the things you say you care about, right? And so the Death card says, it doesn't say you have to ignore the problems, but it says, how can you make the world better and on your own, right? How can you bring more light into the world? How can you do something about it? And so, but at the same time, again, I think everybody needs to be careful of feeling the world right now. We need to make sure that we don't get distracted. The Death card could be some big changes coming in for you as well. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. I think you are pushing past old wounds here, Gemini, just based off of everything that comes up. I mean, it's pretty good reading. And so I think a lot of you are kind of entering into a new era here, Gemini, is the feeling I get with the Death card and this card and the Moon. It's almost like you're entering into Gemini's hot guy, hot girl era or something. I don't know. Something's happening with this card. I feel it only on this Nine of Wands for whatever reason. I think the whole entire reading is saying this, but it's you're entering into a new energy. And I think because of that, you are presenting yourself in a different way. And I don't know. It looks good to me. You have the Moon. The Moon is normally a lack of clarity or not seeing things clearly, but coming up in the good stuff, the Moon can actually represent seeing things clearly. So I think a lot of you could be getting new clarity on life or new clarity on the direction you need to move in life or something like that. So I feel pretty good about that Moon card. With the Death card, you have the Eight of Cups. I kind of feel like you're chopping things out very quickly here as well. If something no longer serves you, I think you're not wasting time. It's you're cutting things out very quickly is the energy I get off of that Eight of Cups, which is good. It seems to me like you're being more decisive. And yes, with the Nine of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords being more decisive, literally. So a lot of you are being more decisive, probably because you're getting a lot more clarity. The Queen of Wands, she is clear for the first time. She only has clouds halfway up her body. So I think you are gaining clarity. With the Moon, you have the Emperor. There you go. So Emperor and the Empress right here definitely could be a divine counterpart coming in for you if you are looking for love. So if you are looking for love, I would put yourself out there. You have this feather card. It says someone you know is undependable and insincere. With the devil, I would always pay attention. If someone seems undependable and insincere, they probably are. I would just pay attention to it and block that person out or avoid that person. You have this rainbow card. It says the most difficult part of a situation is over. Yes, if you've been through anything difficult or challenging, I think you could be healing past some of these things, which of course is a good thing. But, the whole entire reading looks like improvements to me. You have this gong card. It says an exciting event. Yes, there could be a lot more excitement, or there could be a lot of excitement coming in for you, which is good. You have this January card and this rat. It says someone working against you behind your back, devil. Again, the reading looks very good. And it looks to me like if there is a devil in your energy that you are cutting this person out. But, I would definitely pay attention. And, if trust your gut as well. So that's what I'll say there. You have this sunrise card. It says new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. There's clearly Ace of Pentacles, something new that you are going to be nurturing into existence. And it looks very good to me. So this looks really good, Gemini. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.